Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this webinar on the Financial Remedy Service, which is hosted on myHMCTS. We are offering you guys today a drop-in session on how to get the best out of the Financial Remedy Service. This webinar is being recorded and there will be an opportunity to ask questions. I'd like to introduce our panel today. We have Jessica Newton and Mark Saliki. So Jess, over to you.
Hi everybody, thank you for attending today. It's great to see quite a bit of engagement so far on this subject. I'm Deputy Service Manager for Divorce, and just to give you a brief overview of the service and a bit of background, the FR Contested Digital Service started out as a pilot and just a few FRCs a few years ago now, and has been developed into an end-to-end service. And is now deployed across all of the 18 FRCs across the country. We do have an online digital service that's just for the legal representatives. So currently the digital uptake for that is 80%, and litigants in person have to complete their applications on the paper form A, and then that's keyed into the digital service by the court admin. Over the last 6 months, with regular engagement, we've done quite a lot of work to improve the service in response to feedback from stakeholders, judiciary, operational staff, and we've released quite a lot of functionality in that time, including things like notice of change, share a case functionality within your firms, extending the service to to deal with judicial separation, nullity and civil partnership applications as well. And extending the service to deal with maintenance pending suit applications. We've also done quite a bit of work to improve the document handling process. So the parts that you'll be interested in with the uploading and specifying what tabs items go in, such as we created an FDR tab and a hearing bundle tab so that it was easier to access the documents there. More recently, we've had a couple of recent releases of variation orders being made possible on the portal, as well as barrister access. Now, with a look forward to what's coming up next, prior to mandation of the service next year, we've got Schedule 1 applications that's expected on the 16th of December, and the review of the intervener process as well. We've got improvements to the guidance and signposting that is continuous with any releases as well. So we'll no doubt be able to signpost to that guidance if you haven't already accessed that. We've got some pre-recorded videos that we're going to run through, and we're going to take questions in between those videos so that the questions can be tailored to what we've just watched. But we will try and pick up as many questions as we can throughout. We've got the barrister access video is going to be up first. So yeah, Aaron, if you would like to play that one first, please.
When a barrister is instructed on a case, the solicitor is able to add the barrister onto the case. Once they're added on, the barrister is able to access the case files and will also be able to lodge any documents or orders following a hearing. If the barrister is instructed directly by the client, who's a litigant in person, the barrister has to notify the local financial remedy centre, who are then able to add the barrister onto the case for them to be able to access the case files. In order for the instructing solicitor to add the barrister onto the case, the solicitor would select the option Manage Barristers from the Next Steps drop-down list. Click Go. Select which party that the change applies to. Is it the applicant or respondent? And then select Add New to add the new barrister information. So type in the barrister's name and email address. There's a phone number field also available, but this is optional, so you don't have to enter that information. You can then search for the barrister organization or chambers. You can either search by the chamber name or by searching under the address by the postcode. If you search by the postcode, it comes up with a much more compact search result. So it only comes up with any chambers within that postcode area. If you search by the chamber name, you have a much larger search result as the system looks for any chambers with the same name or any similar names. So once you've identified the correct chambers, click select to add that chambers to the case, then click continue. And then that information will be repeated to you, so you can double check that information is accurate before you proceed. If you need to make any changes, there's an option on the right hand side there. You select change and you can update any of that information. Otherwise, click submit to finalize your selection. And the barrister will be added to the case. If we go into the respondent tab, we can see that the barrister is now displaying there under the respondent. So the barrister has now been added to the case and the barrister will be able to access the case file. The barrister will receive email notification advising them that they have been added to the case. And the barrister will be able to access the case from that email. So if we open that, we can see there's an email notification there. And also included within that is a link to the case. So once the barrister has been added to the case, that case will automatically appear in the barrister's case list. But it can also be accessed via this email here. So if we click on that, then we'll be asked to sign in. Hide the messages. We can see that the barrister is now able to access the case. So I can check the respondent information there. And I can also access the respondent documents and any shared documents. And the hearing bundle tab. So the barrister is able to access all the relevant information on the case file. The barrister is also able to upload any documents. So if we look at the next steps drop down, we can see the barrister has a function at upload case files, upload a draft order, creating applications, general applications, or uploading any hearing bundles. So you can see those functions are available to the barrister. We will upload a draft order just to confirm that that option is definitely available to that barrister. And we can see that the case has moved into that review order state, so that order has been uploaded successfully to the case. So we have confirmation that the barrister is able to access the case file and is able to take necessary actions to progress their case. So once the hearing has taken place, the orders have been approved. If the barrister is no longer instructed on the case, the instructing solicitor or the caseworker in direct access case is able to remove the barrister from that case. So we can go through that process. So the solicitor would again select manage barrister from the drop-down list. In selecting the relevant party that we wish to update. This will bring up the existing barrister information. This can be removed by selecting the remove option, which comes up with a reminder just asking if you're sure you want to proceed with the removal. Click remove, then select continue. We can see that that information is no longer displaying there. So if you're happy with the selection, click submit to finalize the removal. And then if we check in the respondent tab again, we can see that the barrister information is now blank, so the barrister is no longer able to access that case. If we check again in the barrister's login, if I refresh my screen or if I try to take any action on that case, the barrister will be kicked out of that case because they no longer have access to that case. As we can see there, that barrister has been removed. The barrister will also receive email notification advising them that they have been removed from the case. We can see confirmation there advising the barrister that they can no longer access that case. So that is how you add and remove barrister access onto contested financial remedy cases.
that's the end of the barrister video. I'm just looking to see if we've had any questions through on that, and if there's nothing specific that anybody's wanting to raise, obviously you can send queries to us to at any point, and on email to our Teams address if you need to. But before, no, we can go straight into the how to submit the contested application if that suits, and we can pick up any other questions if they come in later.
Create a new application, select Create Case. Select the relevant jurisdiction from the drop-down list, which would be family divorce. Select the case type as contested financial remedy, and the event will be auto-filled for you there as Form A application. Click Start to commence the application. You'll be presented with the scope page there, so have a thorough read of that. That gives directions on what's covered under that application and what requirements are required before you can make that application. So have a read of that. If you're happy with the content of that, click Continue. You can then start by entering the applicant solicitor's details. So enter the solicitor's name, and then add the solicitor organization. So the solicitor organization has to be added by searching for the organization on the list there. If the solicitor is not selected or added from the list, the solicitor will not be able to access the case on the portal. So it's very important that this part of the process is not skipped. You can add the solicitor by either searching for the solicitor name or by searching by postcode. It is easier to search by postcode because it only brings up the solicitor organizations within that postcode. If you search by solicitor name, it brings up a larger search result because it looks for any solicitor name, any solicitor with a similar name. So as I said before, it's much easier to search by postcode. It only brings up the solicitors within that postcode area. So once you found your organization on the list, on the right hand side there, click on Select to add the organization to the case. If you only have one result that comes up, you still have to select, click Select to actively add that organization to the portal. So you'd click on that, and that solicitor will be added to that case, and then complete the rest of the information underneath there. Solicitor's details and references. There's a separate tab there about solicitor's contact details. Again, if this information matches exactly what's already been uploaded up there, still put that information in. If this information differs, where an organization might have multiple offices, the main or head office might be registered with MyHMCTS, which will be shown there. If you're working from a local office, which is different from the office that's registered, you can input that address there. So there's a correct address there for service. Enter your phone number there and the email address. Take extra care to make sure that the email address entered is correct and there's no spelling errors, as all notifications from the portal will be sent to you by email to the email address you provide. So if the email address provided is incorrect, you won't receive those notifications. And then there's a question there asking if you consent to receive emails from the court, so select yes to that. If you select no, notifications will not be sent by email. Click continue to go to the next page. You can enter the divorce or dissolution details. So the portal now accepts divorce, dissolution, so nullity, judicial separation case numbers are all accepted. You can also use either the 10-digit alphanumeric case number or 16-digit CCD case number. So all those options are now accommodated for on the portal. Enter your case number. You'll be asked whether the FR case relates to a dissolution of a civil partnership. Again, select yes or no to that question. If you select yes, the order output will be updated to reflect the Civil Partnership Act and not the Matrimonial Causes Act. So just make sure you take the right option there. Enter the date of marriage or civil partnership. The data separation is optional, and then enter the date the application was issued. The name of the court where the divorce application was issued, and at what stage the application is reached. So if we click on the drop-down list, there's three options there: application issued, final order, or decree nisi. So select the relevant option from the list there. Take into account the new naming list, convention, which is for under the new divorce law. So we now have the petition referred to as application, the decree nisi is now called a conditional order, and the decree absolute is a final order. So if we select application issued, you can then upload a copy of that application as evidence. The same thing if you selected conditional order or final order, you have to upload a copy of that order to the portal. Enter the parties' names. You'll be asked if the respondent is represented or not. So if they are not represented, you select no. You can enter their address for service there. If they are represented, select yes, and you can add the solicitor to the case. Again, making sure that you select the solicitor from the organization list, do the search, click select to add the solicitor to the case. Enter the reference if you have one. Solicitor name. And then the solicitor firm. And again, as we said with the applicant solicitor, you have to add the address in there twice, just in case this does differ from the office that's been registered. So select the relevant address there and enter the email address. Again, making sure that there's no spelling or typing errors within that email address. Once you're happy with that, click continue. And select the nature of application. You then be asked whether the application is suitable to be dealt with under the fast track. So select yes or no. If you select yes, you can then select which of those options apply. Otherwise, you can select no and continue. You'll be asked whether the application should be allocated to the complexity list. Again, select the relevant answers to you there, yes or no, or if you're not sure, say you don't know. And then the estimate of the assets in the case. So select the relevant option there. And then the net value of the home. So put again the amount in there. You then be asked whether there are any potential allegations or issues which may arise in the case. So there's a list of options to select from there. If you're not sure, you can select not applicable. Otherwise, select one of those options listed on that list. You can then choose the financial remedy to which you wish to make the application. So what's your nearest court? And then there's more information there required just in terms of attending the hearing. Is there any special measures required in a case? Any special facilities required for either parties? You can put that information in there. And also, if there's any reason why the hearing should not take place at a specific court, you can then there's an opportunity for you to enter those reasons there. Otherwise, you can select no and continue. You then be asked to enter the MIAM information. So if you've attended MIAM, you select yes. Continue, you can enter your MIAM information there. If you haven't attended MIAM, you select no. You'll be asked if the applicant's claiming exemption. If you select no and try to continue, you won't be able to continue. So if you select yes, you then be asked another question asking whether the applicant, family mediator has informed the applicant that a mediator's exemption applies. So yes or no to that question, and then you can continue. So if we go back and say yes, again, you'd enter your details in there. You then be asked if you have any other documents you wish to upload to the portal. So if you select yes, we can then select add new to upload any other documents. So choose file. Select the document type. So if you're uploading an allocation questionnaire, and statement in support of MPS. If you wish to make a maintenance spending suite application, you also need to upload a D11 together with the application. So as well as uploading a statement in support, you'd also upload a D11. Just to show that you do intend to apply to proceed with applying for a maintenance spending suite. Click continue. You'll be shown your FRC information there. If you wish to contact the FRC, click continue, and then all your answers will be played back to you. So at that point, you can review your answers, make sure you've entered all the correct information. If you're happy with all the information that's been entered there, click submit, and the application will be submitted.
Okay, that's the end of that video. So we have had a few questions come through now, I think.
Jess, so first question we've got is, will solicitors be able to see each other's barristers?
Yes, so the solicitors will be able to access the see each other's barristers. So in the same way that solicitors can see which solicitors are acting for a particular client, they'll also be able to see which barristers are acting for that client. So that information is available to both sets of solicitors on the portal.
Well, thank you. We've also been asked if more than one barrister can be added for a party.
Yes, so you can have multiple barristers for a party. For example, you could have a barrister or, as an example, a clerk's acting also on the case, so they're able to upload documents and orders, etc. But yeah, you can have multiple barristers for the same client, given that they're within the same organization.
We've also been asked more generally if support staff at firms can be able to access a case, so you know, like legal secretaries, paralegals, legal executives, because they're the ones that will likely to be uploading bundles. So really the question is the service only accessible to instructing solicitors?
So yeah, so other people within the chambers can be added to access the cases. So again, similar to the question around the barristers, you can have multiple barristers. So you can have clerks, for example, within chambers added to the case, so they're able to carry out those functions. So yeah, they're able to do so.
Thank you. Let's see, what else we got? Someone said, did the video say that you file a D11 if you are applying for interim maintenance only?
Yes, so if you selected maintenance pending suit from the nature of application, you wish to proceed with the application, you have to lodge a D11 application to confirm that you wish to proceed with the application. Because what happens in most cases that all the options on the nature of application list are selected, including the maintenance pending suit. In the majority of cases, the solicitors do not wish to progress with the maintenance pending suit application. So one of the requirements is that you have to lodge a D11 application confirming that, and also the statement in support of your maintenance pending suit also.
It's brilliant. I think we'll do one more question and then we'll move on to the next video. The question is filing allocation questionnaires compulsory?
So we'll probably need to get a little bit of clarity on this, and we can confirm this. So some regions require them and some don't. So we'll get clarification on which regions do and which regions don't, so we can give you more detailed guidance around that process. But as I said, some regions do require it and some don't. So I would say, just to err on the side of caution, I would say probably lodge your allocation questionnaire with your application just to prevent any delays to your application being processed.
That's great. Should we move on to the next video and then take some more questions, Aaron?
When a solicitor is added to a case, the case will be referred to the case access manager, who will then assign that case to the respective fee earner. Once the case has been assigned to the fee earner, that case will appear in the case list as displayed here. You can access the case by clicking on the hyperlink on the case reference detail there, and that will open up in a new tab. If you wish to share the case with anyone else within your organization, you can do so by clicking on the left-hand side and selecting Share Case. Type in the name of the individual within the organization you wish to add to share the case with, select Add and Continue, and that case would be shared within the organization. If you receive notification of a case that you are instructed on but are not able to access the case because you have not been added correctly, you are able to onboard yourself to the case using Notice of Change. So you can add yourself to the case, you'll be able to view the case that way. To do this, select Notice of Change in the top left-hand side corner. Enter the 16-digit reference number. Make sure that the 16-digit reference number is for the financial remedy proceedings and not the divorce proceedings. Enter the case number, select Continue. You then be asked some questions there. So you have to enter the divorce dissolution case reference number. So this can be either the 10-digit F. Enter the case number in there. And then enter the client's name. So enter the first name and last name. Make sure that the spelling is correct. If there's any spelling errors or the name doesn't match what's held on the court record, you will receive a notification like that, just highlighting that the details don't match what's on the case. So make sure that it's typed in correctly. Select Continue. Once your details have been accepted, it will replay that information back to you, then be asked to sign whether you're satisfied with the information that's been provided and also that the notice of change has been served on all parties. Tick both boxes and click Submit. Once you've done that, you will receive a notification saying that the notice of change has been successful. Once the notice of change has been accepted, you'll be able to access the case instantly. So at the bottom there's an option to view the case, or if you wish to return back to your case list, you can do so. But if you wish to start working on the case, you can click on that option there. And that will take you into the case. You'll be able to view the case documents in there. So you can see the case documents and any other orders on the case, you can view them there. Once you're in that case, you'll be able to upload any documents to the case. So if you wish to upload your documents, you would select on the Next Steps drop down, select Upload Case Files, click on that. Select Add New Documents to commence uploading your documents. Select Choose File. This will take you into your folder, your documents. Select the relevant documents from your device that you wish to upload. Select the specific document type. If the document type you're uploading is not listed on the list there, select Other, and then type in the specific document type. Otherwise, select the options from the list displayed there. Enter the hearing date that those documents relate to. If the documents contains any confidential information or addresses that should not be disclosed to the other party, select yes to that question there. But if the documents are okay to be shared with the other party, select no. If the documents still contain confidential information and you select yes, when you come to share the documents, if they are confidential, you won't be able to share them with the other side. All documents uploaded are not instantly viewable by the other party. So if you have not exchanged documents, you can still upload them to the portal. And then once those documents have been exchanged, you'll then be able to share them with the other side, which we'll go through very shortly. You then also asked with the documents related to any financial dispute resolution hearings, yes or no. Again, if you select yes, they'll be stored in the financial dispute resolution documents tab. If you select no, you then have the option to say whether the documents should be uploaded into the applicant or respondent tabs. Please select only the applicant or respondent respectively. There's an option there for case documents, but please use the applicant or respondent so the documents go into the correct tabs. So if I select respondent in this case, and those documents are ready to be uploaded, you can use this event to upload multiple documents. There's no limitation on how many documents you can upload with the one event. And again, one of the main advantages of the portal over sending documents in by email is the size limitation is much higher, so you don't have to send separate documents, separate correspondences with documents attached. You can use the one event to upload as many documents as you need. Once you've uploaded all the documents you require, click continue. It'll just play back the documents you've uploaded, so you can double check there, make sure you've had the correct hearing dates or the correct document type. If you need to change any of those information at that stage, you can do so by clicking the change option there. Otherwise, click submit. Once you've submitted, those documents will now appear in the respondent documents. As I said before, once you've exchanged documents with the other side and you wish to now share those documents that are on the portal with the other side, you'd select from the drop-down list, share documents with the applicant, select go. You then just be asked if you're sure you want to share the documents, say yes, continue, and submit. Once you do that, all documents that are in your tab will be shared with the other side. Any documents marked as confidential will not be shared with the other side. If you've uploaded a document and you've marked it as confidential, it doesn't need to. You can contact your local FRC who are able to change those document types for you, and then they can then be shared with the other side. The solicitor is also able to upload copies of the bundle, so you can do that by selecting Manage Hearing Bundles. Click Go, select Add New, enter the hearing date. You'll be asked if the hearing relates to financial dispute resolution. Select yes or no. Again, this just highlights when the bundle is uploaded that it relates to a financial dispute resolution. Once you've entered the relevant date there, select Add New to upload your bundle. Click on Choose File to access your documents. Select the relevant bundle from your computer. There's an option that add a description if you wish to, but this is optional. So you can add hearing type if necessary. Click Continue and Submit. The bundle will now be showed in a hearing bundle tab. So if we go in there, we can see that the bundle is being displayed there. And that can be viewed by all parties as soon as it's lodged to the portal. If you wish to update the bundle, you can do so again by selecting Manage Hearing Bundles. This will show the information you've already entered. If you have an updated bundle, again, you select Choose File. And you can replace the existing bundle with your new updated bundle. Continue, submit. If a bundle has been uploaded to the wrong case or it's the wrong bundle, solicitors now have the ability to remove bundles from the case. Again, only the party who's uploaded the bundle is able to remove the bundle. For example, the respondent solicitor is not able to remove a bundle that's been uploaded by the applicant and vice versa. So again, select Manage Hearing Bundles, click Go. It will display the bundle that's existing there, select Remove, and the bundle has been removed, so continue and submit. And then if we go back into the hearing bundle tab, we can see that that bundle has been removed from the case. So this just adds an extra layer of security for any confidential documents that might be lodged. Solicitors are also able to create general applications if they wish to make any applications to the court within proceedings, if they wish to adjourn hearings or request an extension of time or have any consent orders that do not relate to the conclusion of the case. You can use the general application process. You'd select create general application. And if there are any existing general applications on the case, they'll be displayed there. So don't make any updates to the bundles display to the general application displayed there. Instead, click Add New, and then you'll be taken to a fresh tab there where you can enter your details. So select where you are in relation to the case, whether the application is requiring a hearing. If you select yes, you'll be required to enter the time estimate or any special measures required on the case. If not, select no, and then upload copies of your D11 and a copy of your consent order. And if you have any other supporting documents, you can also upload them there. So select Add New under Upload Supporting Documents, choose File, attach the document, click Continue and Submit. The general application will then be lodged with the court, and the court will refer that application to the judge, who will then give their directions on that. If you wish to make a consent order, this is also available, but the ability to lodge a consent order is only available to the applicant solicitor. Respondent solicitors do not have the facility to lodge consent orders in contested proceedings.
Great, thanks for showing that, Aaron. I'm going to go through a few questions now that've been coming through while the video's been playing. One person's asked if a OneDrive link can be uploaded if a bundle's quite large.
So the answer to that is no. So you can't upload a OneDrive link. So you have to upload the actual physical bundle. So again, the size limitation on the portal is there is a size limitation, but it's much larger than what you'd have seen when you trace in documents by email. So you can upload large bundles. I think we've had bundles that have exceeded 1,000 pages. They've been uploaded to the portal without any issue. So you'll have to upload the actual bundle, the copy itself, as opposed to a link to OneDrive.
Thank you, Mark. Someone's asked if a respondent starts as a litigant, how do you then add solicitors if they then go on to instruct?
You can actually use notice of change to request access to that case, so long as you have the verification details, so the case number and the name of the parties. So you can add yourself there, or admin can also add you. So it's a self-adding function as well as an admin function that can be enabled there.
Thank you. Someone's asked, how do courts verify a MIAM sign-off by a mediator?
So I think that's probably something we'll need to take away and get back to you on that. We're not entirely sure, but obviously the information is required if parties are going through mediation. That information is provided, so that information will be available to the court. But I'm not sure of the verification process. That's something we can get back to you on at a later time.
Okay, thank you. Another one for you, Mark. Is it possible to select only some of the documents and share them? People are saying they might have uploaded all of their documents but only want to share some, and particularly if the other side are not yet ready to provide their documents. Linked to that, if a document's confidential, can you make it non-confidential at a later date?
Thank you. So taking the first point, unfortunately at the moment you don't have the option to select which documents you share. So what we would suggest is, if you do wish to share documents, is upload the documents you wish to share first, share them, and then upload any other documents after that. It's something we have in our backlog of items enhancements to do to enable the ability to select which documents you can share, but at the moment that's not available just yet. In terms of confidential documents, yes, that's something that can be done, but it's not available to the solicitor. So you have to notify your local financial remedy court, and then they're able to change those documents, and vice versa as well. If there's any documents that have been uploaded which do need to be confidential, they can then change those for you.
Great, thank you. One for you, Jess. An administrator for an organisation says that they don't receive notifications of unassigned cases. Is there a way for them to get a notification so that they know that there is a kind of a queue of cases to be assigned for them?
So if they're the case access administrator, not currently, it's my HMCTS functionality that in theory, I think the assumption is that people will be checking their unassigned case list daily, but the solicitors are notified of that notice of change taking place. So the solicitors will get an email to say, you know, contact your case administrator. So if you wanted to within your firm, you could say, you know, for the solicitor elected, you know, that they want to be added. But yeah, we just at the moment, no, there's no notifications. Can certainly feed that back to the My HMCTS team, because I know they are looking at improving the general functionality of the case access administrators so that you can have more management of even when you've allocated cases to reallocate and things. So there is some work going on in that space. So I'll certainly feed that query back to see if that's something that they are enabling or not.
Thanks, Jess. We'll do one more question that's linked to this, and then we'll go on to the final video. Someone's asked if we could just clarify how you assign cases to colleagues, or how they can assign cases to their colleagues.
Yeah, I'll take that one. So in your case list, you will see there's a little tick box next to each case. If you select the tick box and then scroll back up to the top of your screen, there is a share option. If you click on share, you can share multiple cases, or you can share just one case. So you can either select just a specific case you wish to share, or all the cases in your case list. Click on the share option at the top of the screen, and then you can enter the email addresses of the person within your organization that you want to share the case with. Again, you can share the case with multiple people within the organization. So type the email address of the people in the organization, add them, and then just click continue to share. So again, very pretty straightforward process. There's guidance on the My HMCTS list, the guidance also kind of highlighting how this process is to be done.
Thanks, Mark. And just a reminder to people that this session is being recorded, and all of the really helpful tips that everyone's giving will be available to view after the session, and we'll also publish links to the guidance that Mark's referring to. We're going to just go to the last video now and then take some final questions after that.
If the parties reach an agreement and they're happy for the proceedings to be finalized, they can lodge a consent order to be signed off by the judge. This can be uploaded to the portal at any point in the proceedings. So to do this, select from the next steps drop down, select the consent order option. This option is only available to the applicant solicitors. Respondent solicitors are not able to file a consent order on the portal. This will have to be done by the applicant solicitors. So select consent order from the portal, click go. We currently do not have an option for clean break, so you can select any option from the drop-down list there. It won't affect the finalized consent order. Upload a copy of your consent order. Click continue. And then upload copies of your D81. If you're uploading a joint D81, select yes, and you can upload a single copy. If you're uploading separate D81s, you can then select no, and then upload a copy for each individual party. So if we select one copy there, joint copy for both parties, click continue. If you have any other documents that you wish to lodge, you can upload them at this point. So any supporting documents. Any pension documents can also be lodged at that point. Click continue. You'll be displayed information there about which court you've been assigned to. So you have details of contact details there for that court. Click continue. And then the final page there will just display your responses, information you've entered back to you. So check that carefully before you continue. If you're happy with all the information displayed there, click submit to finalize your application. And that application will then be referred to the judge. Once the judge has approved the application, you'll be sent notification notifying you that the application has been approved. If the judge does not approve the application, you'll be sent an order, a general order highlighting why, and then you can make the necessary amendments. Once the amendments have been made, you will have an option to respond to consent order, or if you click on the consent order option again, it'll take you through the existing application, and then you can make any necessary changes as directed by the judge at that point. So if you need to upload new D81s or amended consent orders, you can do so, and then finalize the application as you would have done previously. The new application will then be referred to the judge for their consideration. And again, once the judge approves that application, you'll be sent the approved notification, which you can access from the portal.
And again, that's the end of the final video. So I think we'll jump straight into some more questions, Kim, if that's okay.
Sorry, just coming off mute. So we've had a few queries on file sizes, bundle sizes, what's the maximum, but also will the service let you know if your file is too big?
If the file's too big to upload, generally it will warn you when you've uploaded it that you know it would error, so you need to contact the court to find other ways of uploading if needed. As to the actual size limit, documents wise, just generally it's 350 megabytes, but for bundles, I don't know, as Mark says, it's a lot higher than any other limits we have, so we're not aware that people have been having problems. So if you have, please do contact us separately about it, and we'll have a look at what we can facilitate there.
Thanks, Jess. Just a reminder that we can't take questions on very specific applications. So if you do have anything like that, I'm afraid we won't be able to answer that here, but we'll take anything we can about the actual service itself. With that in mind, someone has asked if what happens if a bundle is disputed between solicitors.
Sorry, Jess, go ahead.
No, I was going to say you can. If you, I was just going to say it's not. Again, it's not something that I've come across before. So, it's up to each party to upload the bundle. So, Mark, I don't know if you were going to suggest anything else. If it's something that you've come across before.
No, it's not something I've come across, and I was going to suggest the same. Both parties have the ability to lodge the hearing bundles, and I'm guessing it'll have to be raised with the judge, and if there's any dispute between the contents of the bundle. But yeah, the ability is there, and if there's any dispute, that'll have to be raised with the judge.
Okay, thank you. Back to the portal. Someone's asked, what's the best thing to do if you've been notified by the other side that the case is on the portal, but they can't see it on when they log in?
So when you're added to a case, especially if you've been added either by the applicant or by the court subsequent to the case being issued, it's actually your organization that's added, not you specifically, although you will receive email notifications saying the case has been issued or you've been added to the case. It'll be the organization that's added. So the case will first appear in your organization's unassigned case list. So the first point for you will be to contact your case access administrator and ask them to assign that case to you. Once the case has been assigned to you, it will then appear in your case list. If the case is not appearing in your organization's unassigned case list, it might be that you haven't been added to the case correctly. So although your email address have been added, it might be that the organization has not actually been added to the case. So in that instance, you would then be able to add yourself to the case by running that notice of change, and you should be able to see the case again. If you've tried those two options and you either still can't access the case or you get any errors, please contact us, my HMCTS Financial Remedy. We can then try and resolve the matter for you. But it's normally one of those two options. Either the case is still waiting in your unassigned case list, or you have not been added to the case correctly, and in which case you can do that yourself by running notice of change.
A lot of the regular problems as well have been the use of the divorce number when trying to access financial remedy cases as well, and they do have the different 16-digit number digits, and the notifications that come out on FR now have had all of the divorce reference taken off, so that the only one on the FR notifications now is the right one to use for the portal. So hopefully we'll see you know, that there aren't any true problems with access, but if there are, just contact us directly and we'll try and resolve them.
Thanks, Jess. We've got about 8 minutes left before we wrap up, so we'll go through as many questions as we can. We've been asked if there's scope for adding an option to the portal to allow solicitors or service users to contact the court with a query or provide an update. Jess, could you maybe clarify that for us, please?
Yeah, at the moment we don't have that functionality in, but we are looking to align with family or FPL with a communication system like that, so a corresponder with a court function. So no, we don't have it yet, but it is in our backlog to enable, so that we can facilitate that, because at the moment when you upload documents it doesn't notify the court. So if you are, it's expected really, if you're asking for adjournments or things like that, would all be done through a general application flow, which does trigger the court to take action on whatever you're requesting, but general documents don't. So if you do have queries, that still needs to be email.
Thanks, Jess. One for Mark. What happens if an applicant puts in the details of the wrong firm? How would they go about rectifying that?
Yeah, so if the wrong solicitor is added to the case, the best thing to do is to notify the FRC for them to remove that solicitor, the erroneous solicitor, from the case immediately, so they're not accessing any documents that they shouldn't access. Or you can notify the correct solicitors and they can then run notice of change, which will add them to the case and remove the previous solicitors. So it just depends on how quickly solicitors are able to add themselves on. But I would say notify your FRC as soon as possible, just so that there's no any data breaches.
Thanks, Mark. One for Jess now. How can a respondent solicitor be provided with access after an application's been issued?
Again, it's something that you can actually do yourselves through using notice of change. You can request that access directly to the case, so long as you have the case number and the details of the parties. The other option again is that the court staff can do this if necessary, but it is expected that the solicitor will do that directly via notice of change, and you can onboard yourself to the case. You can also, if there's another solicitor acting on the case and you're taking over, you can also activate notice of change in those circumstances as well. And notifications will go to everybody, obviously, when you've done that to note the change. But yeah, notice of change, we've got the guidance online on all of that and the functionality of that, because it is more functionality than Divorce has. So in Divorce, just to highlight it on here because it is causing some confusion, I think. On FI, you can activate notice of change yourself, whereas on divorce cases, even in your divorce law, you still have to contact the court directly for divorce to enable that for you. But you can do it directly on the portal with the FR cases.
Thank you. Really good question from someone who's asking if it's possible to archive a case after it's completed.
At the moment, no. But again, I am aware that the My HMCTS team are working on that functionality to be able to archive cases and have more control over once they've been allocated, see where they were allocated and to be to allow reallocation and things. So there is more functionality coming on that case access administrator point, but that's a different team that manages that side of things.
Thanks, Jess. We've had a few queries around urgent matters. What's the best way for people to contact about urgent cases? Is there a specific email that you want people to use, just to follow up on those urgent cases that might be in the system?
If there's something urgent, it would be a matter of contacting the court who's dealing with it directly with the FRC, or if it is being heard at the hearing court, then the hearing court. It depends how urgent, if it's on the day. But the FRCs generally manage the workloads. So yeah, it'd be a matter of contacting them either via email or telephone and just marking it as urgent.
Thank you.
We are just as a point as well. We are enabling an urgent function for applications as well on the portal. So it's in the pipeline to be able to flag something as urgent. But obviously, there's going to have to be tight instructions around that, so everything's not marked as urgent. So it actually does work for people when they need it.
Okay. I've got a question. If you've uploaded an incorrect document, how can you delete it?
You'd have to contact the court admin to be able to delete it, but they can delete documents off files and things. So if you have uploaded something to the wrong case, or just contact the court and we'll be able to remove it for you.
Is it possible, one person asks, to have searchable bundles? Does the portal allow that?
Sorry, what bundles? Sorry, I missed that.
Searchable bundles?
Searchable bundles. At the moment, it's just the general document that you upload, so it's not functionality there yet. And you can download and then obviously use the PDF search tools that are available in any PDF reader. And I believe that's what the judiciary often use. But within the portal, I don't think that functionality is there yet, and it isn't something that's been flagged as a need, but it's certainly something that we can take away if people think it's a requirement.
Okay, I'm going to just do one more question and then we'll start to wrap up. So thank you everybody for your questions, and apologies to those whose questions we couldn't get round to. Someone would like to know what happens if there are intervener proceedings.
Again, currently the tech team are actually working on this currently to enable it. It's the next thing that's going to be made available next year within the portal. At the moment, it's dealt with offline, but in the new year that will be allowed for on the portal as well.
Brilliant. Okay, so I think that's going to be all the questions, unless Jess or Mark, are there any kind of closing comments that you'd like to make before we wrap up?
Just if anybody's experienced any problems, then do reach out, or if anybody has any other suggestions when they start using the portal more, please do reach out to us, because we're still going to be improving it for everybody as much as we can as we go forward. So and thank you for everybody's attendance today. It's really encouraging to see people engaging with it.
Okay, so thanks everybody. I've posted a link to a survey in the chat. Be really great if you could complete that. Let us know what you thought of the session, any suggestions for improvements, things you'd like to see covered in future sessions. We will make the recording available on our YouTube channel in due course, and we will email after the session with links to all of our guidance and the specific videos that have been shown today. And that will also include a link to the team inbox, so that if you have any queries about how to use the service, please do get in touch with that, or indeed feedback.